All right, we are on. Can you hear me? Good. Here, welcome to 41st live stream. This is the second one in the garage gym. Welcome back to those of you who've never been here before with me, with us. We're trying something new here. First thing first, I got this mic here. I'm gonna do clean, so this might be a problem. I can't have it there. So we're gonna have to put it down here, I think. Oh. Okay. Can you still read that? You still read the shirt there? All right, welcome though. We're gonna be doing some cleans here. I got a new. Who's commenting here? Caleb, what's up? Got that drone yet? No, I didn't get that drone. Drones are expensive, man. Drones are real expensive. I'm gonna put the timer on so we know how long I've been here. We're going up to 99. No drone yet, although a drone would be sweet. I think I could fly it from here and reach that bison farm. That would be pretty dope. All right, I don't want to hurt this mic here. I hope I don't hit it. It's an expensive mic to be hitting. Knowing me, I'll probably hit it. We're going to give it a go, though. All right, but the first comment I got up here, I'm going to be responding to a bunch of comments. The first one here is, bro, what about protein? In your body, plants don't give you that. Not everyone needs to be vegan. Well, yeah, you're right. Not everyone needs to be vegan. Not everyone will be vegan. I mean, that's a fact. We know that. Everyone's born vegan, though. I truly believe that. We are taught to eat animals. We're taught to treat animals the way that we do. We're taught all these things. We're taught to be unkind to animals first, and then, others. If we can't even treat animals right, let alone humans. People do scared to defend their answers. That's true. That's true. I think that's one reason why people are scared to defend their answers. I think people are scared to talk about it in general because it's hard to talk about. And if you're not used to talking about it, you certainly aren't comfortable about talking about it. Imagine getting up in front of, your coworkers or a group of people trying to, give a presentation. If you don't know what you're talking about or how to answer questions, you're certainly not going to be, you don't want to put yourself in that position. So you're just not going to talk about anything. You're just going to sit in the back, and hope that no one calls on you to answer any questions. But that's where, again, being 6 years in, we've done a lot of research. We've answered a lot of these questions. I mean, if you go back in our look at these YouTube videos, I mean, we were making videos. I was starting this 6 years ago. That's when we started putting things out there. It is a sensitive subject for sure. I think it's really only sensitive for Caleb. Thanks for your comment, man. I'm gonna leave this guy up there. It's a sensitive subject for who, though? Think about who is the sensitive subject for, and I think that really matters, right? I mean, it's uncomfortable for us. No, it's not uncomfortable for us, right? I think it makes the other person feel uncomfortable when talking about it, right? You wear a shirt like this, it's like, people see me. They're like, they don't know what to say, right? But it's processing in their head. Yeah, man, they are confused for sure. Caleb knows, man. Caleb, man. Right? They were confused because they were all taught a certain way. Yeah, man. I think we all were taught a certain way to grow up. I think it's funny. People say, like, oh, you're feeding your kids, you're forcing your kids to be vegan. Like, parents force their kids. I mean, not that they force, I don't think that's a good word, but they provide them, and of course they're going to eat it. Like, that's all that they give them. They don't say, here's two options. Which one do you prefer? They're just going to give. The kid's going to eat. You know, milk, whatever they're going to drink, whatever. So, I mean, everyone's forcing everyone. But that's okay, right? Because you can learn. At any point you learn, and you can make changes. You can change at any moment. You could come across this video and be like, yep, that dude's right. Or I'm going to give this a shot, right? This dude, you know, he's done it for 6 years. Caleb's done it for more. You got a lot of people. Look at how many people are out there that continue to do this. And there's no lack of protein. There's none. In fact, I'm just starting to supplement now. 20 grams of protein, each scoop of protein. Get a plant-based protein, mix it with water, oat milk, doesn't matter. You'll get it. All right, next comment. Here we go. I get a lot of these ones. Here we go. Meat is murder. Tasty, tasty murder. I think when it's a type of person that comes across these types of videos, right? And you'll see, I try to reach a lot. I try to reach as broad as possible because, number one, 99 out of 100 people out there literally eat animals. And so this video, it doesn't matter who sees it. Everybody has their own type of response to it, or the quit eating animals, especially at the end. That's why I love it. Somebody asked, we want to change our name. You should change your name. Stop forcing everybody to be vegan. Like, that's not what we're trying to do here. The idea is to drop seeds. The idea is to drop seeds, get you to think differently about, you know, animals, right? We're born with a connection with animals. And then we're taught not to have a connection with certain animals. And to me, you know, nobody was taught this growing up. But now that we taught it, now it's on us. But to respond, meat is murder, tasty, tasty murder. You know, I've never came across, I mean, again, I wasn't putting it out there, but people coming across these type of comments, meat is murder, you know, like laughing, ha ha, you know, and this is that confliction inside. It's much easier to just eat plants instead of respond and react like that. And to just don't go against it. It just, over time, I mean, it's just going to it looks ridiculous. It looks silly. And if you go, like, plants have feelings, you should see all of the comments. And, you know, like, nobody really thinks plants have feelings. And those that do, like, they find a path to get there. But it's really awkward. It's usually after you respond to something and then answer that, and then they deflect in something else, and then it goes on. And then the more, like, people try to answer and justify it, it looks worse. So you got to remain calm and just continue to respond, and then, you know, lead by example. That's another thing that I think we're doing. I mean, nobody's like, oh, you know, I don't want to be like a weak plant-based person, and I'm not. So, noticing more people have become vegan and vegetarian. Caleb, yeah, I think that's true, for sure. I mean, I've every day people are connecting the dots. They you know, I think the movement's becoming bigger and bigger the more time that goes by. Imagine all the other stuff we could be doing and have if we didn't eat meat. Yeah, that's a good point. But, I think, number one, this is going to go on forever. So this, like, what I found in, my time here, the rest of my 100 years left on Earth, I think this has been perfect for me and my wife and really whole family I think we're the type of personality where, you meet us, you don't look like or act like the typical vegan persona. Like nobody, I didn't know any vegans growing up or vegans or plant-based people, like doing, I'm going to say normal things. Most people think of like vegan activists out there, like, like holding up stores and screaming. And again, don't get me wrong, that's certainly effective in its own way. That's just not something that can't say I would never do it, but I just don't think that's not my type of personality. I mean, maybe it is, but I just don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like that's my way to my animal advocacy is not doing that. Although I don't know how I would react or respond. I certainly don't. But, it works for some people, like Tash, that she went in that dude's restaurant, and started playing pig, getting suffocated in gas chambers. That's impactful for sure. But I've also read when you confront someone like that and you break down the part of the brain where it gets you to respond and think things through. So it may not be effective, but it's certainly impactful for some. So, people do, right? But so do cops, so do firefighters, lawyers, judges. I was on a court case. I think my judge was, whatever. But there's good judges, there's bad judges. There's good vegans, there's bad vegans. There's ways to do it that work for them. I wouldn't find myself going to like a restaurant and pulling. Now I would have conversations. I do like you sit out, you put a bench, and you get people to come and talk to you. That's kind of what I'm trying to do on YouTube here. So if you see this and you're interested in a conversation, I'd love to, interact, real time, real questions. And I'm not going to blow up or start screaming. I mean, there's no time for that. It doesn't serve anybody any good. But I do think that's impactful. There's all different types of advocacy. So I think, just sharing your story, number one, is a huge step to everyone you come across. If they ask, especially if you're one of the type of people that, you don't feel comfortable, how do you know a vegan? They'll tell you. I mean, it's true because you really are like just found this like light bulb went off and you want to share it with everybody. But it takes time. Not everyone's there yet. And that's okay. But you have to learn how to share your story, learn how to handle certain questions or objectives, or handle certain, questions and a response. And just you have to come up with your responses because you keep hearing the same excuses or the same things over and over. So you come up with response. And I think if in general, you don't have to respond. I think the more you ask questions, you're going to get somebody there. And you don't necessarily have to have the answer if you learn how to respond with questions and you keep them talking and you don't have to explain as much. And I think that's what you'll find here when I start interviewing or asking people questions or talking to them. They're going to be doing the talking. And then, it's how they think of, things on the fly, like these questions. People probably haven't put it like that before. And so that's going to be unique. But to that first comment a response that I got, where do you get your protein from? All protein originates in plants. All the animals that we eat, cows, pigs, chickens, deer, think about it. They all eat plants. And so for us, let's go straight to the source and eat the plants. To me, it just makes sense. To me, it just makes sense. So, all right, let's keep going here. Why is this out here? Don't want that. All right. Here we go. Aaron Davidson. Let's see what we got here. I'll respond to this one. What's this one say? Before I answer this, let me throw on Caleb's here. My mom one time adopted a baby pig and we weren't allowed to keep it, but my mom did it anyway to save it from slaughter. Wow, that's a story. That's a good story. We had a pig too, believe it or not. It was supposed to be a pet pig or a potbelly pig, and we instantly knew that we made a bad decision. This house, just the pig was not a good idea for us. But to save it from slaughter, that's awesome. That's amazing. All right, Aaron Davidson. What's funny is they're killing animals in farms, keeping them from eating vegetables that they're farming. Let me try to read this again and understand it. What's funny is they're killing animals in farms. Okay, so this is back to the crop deaths. I've seen this one. This one is by far the most common, and I think it's just the group of people that I'm gonna say that I came across, or at least it's the majority responses, or people kind of go straight here, right? Those that kind of been in this long enough, or these anti-vegans we call them, or they comment on it, they respond with crop deaths. So, the whole thought is you're growing plants, and then so these farmers shoot all of these animals trying to come on to the fields, and they either hire people or they do it themselves, or they'll spray pesticides out there, rodenticides they call it, and it'll kill all these rodents, but it'll protect their goods, their property, their product. And I'm sure it happens, right? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but is it possible to do that without it? Absolutely. Just like there's good farmers and there's bad farmers for, plants. You're going to have that, but veganic farming is a thing. Is it sustainable? Absolutely. But nobody's willing to give it a try. Nobody's like, they just straight to, it's not going to work. Be in the business of let's try it. Don't be like, it's not going to work. Just being vegan or trying plant-based, try it. Don't just put it down. Ew, that's nasty. Try it. Isn't that the farmer's fault, though? There are other ways. Aren't there other ways? Yeah, there are other ways to deal with it. I think, look, protecting crops is certainly, it's a tough business. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but you could put up fencing, you put up guarding. And think about, we're 2023, the technology is just getting better and better. You have devices that just throw off this, call it an audio ping, and it keeps all the rodents or all the pests away. That's an option. Vertical farming, you go up, right? That's going to be an option. You're going to have, enclosures, indoor farming. There's tons of different ways, but people that's what we're used to, and that's what we're taught. Our parents are taught to kill all of those, those rodents. So we're going to continue to do that until someone comes up with a better way, which you got to go look for. So there are better ways out there. So no, you don't have to. And then they act like that they don't eat plants either. Like, of course. And it's not just my plants or all vegans' plants. I hope everybody's eating plants. Whether you eat animals or still or not, I hope you're also eating plants. I certainly do not hope that you're eating nothing but animals. That, number one, is terrible for the animals. And two, terrible for yourself. I mean, that's not good. Not good carnivore diet. People are confused, think that that's a good option. Do your research. I'm no doctor, but again, talk about those things, long intestines, the meat just fermenting and sitting rotting in there. That's just not going to do good things for your body. So, crop deaths, though, not a thing, not something you need to be concerned with, and not the reason why you continue to eat animals. It's just a deflection of like, oh, crop deaths, though. Like, let's answer the question first about killing animals and participating in that before we can talk about crop deaths. You know what I mean? All right, I'm not eating highly processed seed oils turned into gelatinous goo and made it to look like a sausage. That vegan meat bullshit is so bad for you. Okay, so not to say that I don't think it has gelatin in it, or gelatin. Number one, it's not from an animal. I think that's the main concept of all of this, is the fact that it's not from an animal. All right, so the whole point is to simulate, eating burgers like what you're used to. All right, so they've put together this concoction of things, mainly soy, but it's a soy-based stuff in there that looks like meat. It's not healthy. Nobody says it is, and don't be confused. So no, it's not healthy. I agree with you, but you stick to 100% whole foods that are plants, right? You can make meat and other options that are like identical to that. There's ways to make tofu. It's all about how you prepare it. Seitan, mushrooms, all about how you prepare them to make them or simulate meat. Favorite meat brand? We do a lot of, I'll add this, Caleb, good question. What's my favorite meat brands? My first one, I'm a little biased. I first started with the Impossible at a restaurant, and I started with the Impossible burgers. Really, I mean, they were just nothing like I've ever seen before, and I was super excited, but they really didn't make me feel good. So I didn't eat a lot of I really liked it, but I knew it wasn't causing my body good things to happen. So I'm going to say that it doesn't cause that much issues anymore. We still eat both Beyond and Impossible, but I will say the Beyond, I like the way the Beyond is, Beyond Burger. So Beyond's a good one. There is Good Life. That's another one. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. It's another common. We get a lot of it. I'll try to come back to this and mention it. But I think the best one is the one. Just try as many as you can. The tofurkey's even good. The original tofurkey. They got all different types. Try them. And open up your palate. I think I noticed when I ate animals, my palate wasn't open up. I didn't try things. I wasn't good at trying things. And, now it's like, try everything. There's so many different options. And I will say, it has been an amazing experience finding when you travel to try to find a 100% plant-based or vegan restaurant. They are out there in big cities. St. Louis had one. All the big cities have one. Chicago, San Diego. We haven't been to San Diego. We're going to Chicago here tomorrow. We'll try to find one, but if you come across these restaurants or these types of restaurants, they create, some of them have Impossible beef and their thing, and they make stuff with that, but they also have home recipes made out of seitan and their own, concoction. And I would most definitely recommend those, because you can get it Impossible beyond anywhere, and the more restaurants that come out. But if you have lucky enough to find one where they have a house-made seitan, or a house-made vegan meat, brisket, any types of those things, you need to try those. You are not going to regret that choice at all. So good question, Caleb. Their chicken patty's the best. Gardane's, that's it. Yep, there it is. Good one, Gardane's. Yeah, that's well known. They got tons of good options. Their fish sticks. I mean, you name it, you can have a plant-based option that's out there. Now, it's not healthy, but it certainly is going to get you by. It's going to get you by, and I'm going to say that you can continue to eat it forever. Just know that it's not necessarily the healthiest, but neither is, Burger King, or neither is the things that you normally ate anyway. So like what are you risking? So the vegan meat bullshit's so bad for you. If you think like that, I mean, obviously you're biased on here, but it's really not that bad for you, especially when you look at it like you're not doing it for the health. You're not doing it for the health. I got another comment here. Quit eating plants. You're just starving the animals. Let me capture this one just so we're all clear on these responses that we get. Look at this. Quit eating your plants. You're just starving the animals instead. Again, another response that comes from this confliction. So you see something that's that you're partaking in, and it's like and then you have to respond and let that out some way. So you type out these responses, and then it eliminates this confliction for a minute, for a little bit, until you think about it again, or till I respond, or until the next thing comes up. Whew. Haven't done some heavy cleans in a while. Not that that's heavy or anything, but all right. So those I haven't responded to. My last comment, or my last post, was people love to comment on it. People are still commenting on it. Killing this. I got a lot of comments on my last one, and again, trying to go a lot of width here. Not the ant one. 1.6 thousand views. Grilling animals. Oh. Ooh. Hopefully that didn't catch the copyright. All right, cool. Let me answer your question here, Caleb. Here, how long do you think that humanity will accept becoming vegan, or do you think it will ever happen? Great question. That's a great question. So, my thought on humanity and will the world ever accept veganism? Well, I'm going to say yes. You have to think like this, and I think we can really do some damage. Now, will the world ever get to a 100% vegan? That is extremely difficult. But when I say we will have the ability to eat animals without harming them, I think that is what the goal is. And then I think that we'll still find ways to exploit animals. I think someone's always going to try that and make money off animals, just like people make money off humans. But we certainly could put a huge dent and into the food animals, right? The animals we eat for food. And part of the reason why, I mean, the main reason why we really stuck to naming the company Quit Eating Animals is because that's really the easiest thing anyone can do and have the biggest and largest amount of impact, just by quit eating animals. And then the conversations that happen from that, and then those stories that you tell, and then now you have this chain reaction. And then the more time goes by, right? So if our family, our kids, they'll grow up and have kids, and likely they'll grow up in a vegan environment. Not to say the world would be vegan, but they're going to grow up not consuming animals, being normal not to consume animals. And they're going to understand how to go out into the world and deal with, better than we did. We'd have to find out from, trial and error. I mean, we raised our kids on milk, on dairy milk. Not something that we're proud of, but we didn't know. But now that we know, if we had kids again, no way. Woo! Get a good little workout in. But how long will humanity become vegan? I think it's certainly not going to stop me. And I think what's awesome is that these videos, they'll last forever. And so to put your statement out in the world and be like, this is the way we believe, and this isn't going to change no matter what. We're not going to wake up one day and be like, oh, we had it backwards. We're actually supposed to be killing animals. Like, it's never going to happen. And so that's what I feel really good about. Yeah, you need to stop skipping leg day. Every day. Every day should be leg day. Caleb. Yeah, man, I need to actually, I'm going to say start doing bench more. Get my chest up. I'm starting to do burpees a lot more. I came across this guy, Burpees King. Man, this guy, he spent a lot of time in prison, but doing burpees. I mean, I thought I was in shape. Get it, kitty. Get it, kitty. Hi. Look at this kitty. Come here. This is an outdoor kitty. This is our neighbor's kitty. True carnivore right here, though. Look at. Hi. Hello. Want to see? Oh, purring. This is a kitty. This is a kitty. Kitty, kitty. Beautiful kitty. Animals are amazing, aren't they? So, yeah, you got to stop skipping leg day. But another thing, too, like, I feel like we started eating plants, have so much more energy. And I'm going to say, we're just now, I'm going to say, start lifting again and going hard in while being vegan. I mean, this first time I'm taking supplements or, additional supplements. I start, at least consistently. And when I say consistently, I just started this and I missed yesterday too. So off to a good start. But I got this on Prime Day, Amazon Prime, this Oatly chocolate plant-based protein. Delicious so far. Had like three scoops. Phenomenal. So get some protein, get in working out, do some squats. Got to keep moving. But Yeah, feel free to. We can do some workouts. Keep each other motivated. You know, it's good to have you got to have a partner or somebody to keep you motivated, or at least some people do. I've never been one of those type of people, and I think I could always do stuff on my own. And I never needed a class type environment, so it's a little different to be, I'm gonna say, to lead the class. But I never was really like the class type of person, like working out by myself. But it is amazing when you get someone else there to push you. People work out to workouts online, but when I work out with Ava, she pushes me hard. She really does. You got marching band practice 9 to 5 for a week. Felt wonderful. Had plenty of energy. Good, man. What Caleb? What instrument you play? Be interested to know. But yeah, you got to have a lot of energy, man. Back to your story, man. I think the younger we are, the younger and like my kids, I wish you felt comfortable talking about it. And not as far as being an activist. And all activist means is that you're active. And so I consider myself an activist because I'm active creating content, talking about it. And I'm not one of them pushy people, but I certainly will let you know, that I am vegan, and partly because I want to answer questions if you have. Mellophone and the French horn. Mellophone and the French horn. Nice. I have no idea what those are, but that is awesome that you play those. I wish I could play an instrument. I learned how to play, or wanted to learn how to play the guitar. But time, just don't have time. What other questions can I answer? Okay, this one's a long one. Let me try to capture it here. And I like getting these. Especially if people put in the effort to write something like this. I do like to respond, and I do like to break it down. It is a lot to break down, but let's just try to do this. This world is an eat or be eaten world. The animals we have today have been bred to livestock and cannot survive in the wild. Okay, so the first time, this is a eat or be eaten world. No, that's not true, because nobody's going to go eat us. All right, unless you have some aliens fly down here and come eat us. Nobody's going to eat us. Unless you go out and live in the wilderness, and a bear is going to eat you. And that's where, the food chain, people have that one confused, because that's not how that works or how that's supposed to work. Food chain is made up. But to be eaten or eaten world, you don't have to. And two, the animals we have today are bred to livestock and cannot survive in the wild. Yeah, so we've been breeding these animals into existence and genetically modifying them to fit our needs so that we can do what we want with them, and so they can have the biggest profit for us selfishly, right? But understand, and this is a comment or response that we get, like, what are all these animals going to do? What are all these animals? Where are we going to put them? Number one, it's not all going to happen. This is right over my head, isn't it? It's crazy. It's not all going to happen at once, all right? So this isn't all going to happen at once. And then you can't read, then you can't see it. All right, so it's not all going to happen at once. Supply and demand. All right, so that's not the way it works. We're not just going to release them into the wild. So if you stop eating them, or if you stop buying them, they won't need to be slaughtering them. So we're not going to let them into the wild. Food crop farming is just as bad as not worse for the planet. So immediately goes to food crops, deteriorates soil, kills native insects. All of these fallacies, these things that aren't true, but they lean on this to not to make themselves feel comfortable for continuing to do what they're doing. And then the aquifer is expected to dry up in 2060. So we're not doing things right now because of what is going to happen in 50 years. That doesn't make sense. So we can't think like that. Let's live for today. And we all can contribute to this. And we all don't have to contribute to this. So it just makes sense to look now. Don't base it on what's going to happen in the future. We can barely feed the planet with livestock and crop food sources. So how do you expect us to be able to feed the planet on crops alone? Most of the crops, 98% of the crops we make go to feed the animals, the 80 billion animals that we breed and kill on a yearly basis. All of that food, we don't have to feed animals. We shouldn't have to feed animals. Let's use that to feed ourselves. So that's another way to respond to that. Meat is murder, tasty murder. Of course it is. All right, I'm done responding to comments. This kitty wants my attention. Kitty, kitty! Kitty, kitty! Look at somebody is animals don't have feelings or animals don't have personalities. This cat is purring right now. I'm not sure if you can hear, but purring certainly knows. Can you hear that? You know? So it's what's the difference between a cat and a dog and a cow? It's crazy. So I want you to connect to the animals. Connect to the animals. All right. How long have we been out here? 41 minutes? Yeah. I got a good enough workout in here for a Tuesday. Good. Well, hopefully I got this thing called, what is this? What is this Sonos? Okay, a 2-week free trial. It is called Tribe of Noise. You got 7 dogs? Wow. Wow, Caleb. Caleb's got 7 dogs. What type of dogs, man? Rescues? And I'd be interested to see if you, and I'm going to say I haven't met anybody yet, but feed them plant-based. Are they on a plant-based vegetarian option? And that's interesting. Since your parents are vegetarians, I'd be interested to know if feed the dogs plant-based option or not. Because I know that they're out there. I know we do ours. Not to say that, at a point we didn't. And I say, my wife talked about it. Then it finally came out of, I started making some more money, and now we have it on rotating. So both of our dogs are on plant-based option from Amazon. So it's hard. It's hard. You got to answer a lot of questions to that one. But dogs are omnivores, and they're plant-based options, so it's perfectly healthy for them. And so people don't know. People don't know. All right. Foster puppies and foster over 400 puppies. Yeah, you don't have them on plant-based. I mean, that's okay. And I know it's hard. It's number one, it's expensive. I think it's I'm gonna say it's more expensive. Likely so. And I mean, it's better overall quality, to be honest. If you think about like what the animals eat, just regular, animal food, they're eating like the worst of the worst meats that they get. But again, you got to do the best you can with what you have and in your environment, right? Like and everything's about timing, and being reasonable and just having the right attitude on it, and we're not perfect. We're going to slip up. You gotta just keep going, keep learning, keep growing. You got to continue to do that. Like, you cannot stop. Don't allow other people, and you're going to have people infiltrate and get into your psyche, get into your mind of thinking that, like, yeah, man, maybe you're doing like the wrong thing. But I can assure you that is not the case with this ever. And it's never been the case ever, and it never will be. You go through a 50-pound bag in a week and it's expensive. Yeah, most pits, every dog we foster adopted has a neuter or spayed, and that's the right answer too. I mean, we should not be breeding animals into existence. I mean, that is what we should not be doing. And I always remember if you watch The Price is Right, if you remember Bob Barker, he ended every show with, have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. And I never thought about it, never put two. I was like, why do you always say that? Why does he always say that? And I'm sure he's got paid, but he really, I think he really believed in that pet population. And, he sponsored, I think, that society or the animal society or whatever that is. But that is the right answer. We should not be breeding, these puppy mills, these poor puppies. In Grand Rapids, we actually had this. This was a story. I think I was supposed to do, I wanted to comment on this, but there was this pit bull mix or a pit bull, and it was real. It was a mother, but she was found on the side of the road. And it went viral because somebody found, and it was all like, it looked like it was just thrown in the trash on the side of the road, and it had crawled out in the middle of the road. And this lady stopped, picked up the dog, and put it out there. It was like, oh my gosh, and asked for donations, and got like thousands and thousands of dollars because they had to have surgery, and it was just in rough shape. But it was all, and actually, they found the breeder, and somebody posted, was like, hey, is this your dog? It looks awfully like your dog. And that guy's like, yeah, I gave it to someone else, and it's just, it was all hoopla. But it turned out that it just was, that's the environment that they are in, and they certainly do not. They aren't meant to be breeded 7 times, 8 times, and then have their puppies just taken from them. It's just crazy to me what they go through. It really is. It's crazy. Oh my goodness, what a terrible, look at this. We rescued one that got set on fire on purpose because they didn't want her. That is rough. That is rough. Yeah, man. I mean, just breeding, that would be a tough situation. I worked with somebody who was in dog fighting, and so after, if they would lose money, and they would take the dogs out back and kill them. And and it's just a business, and they don't look at them like they're just property. All right, guys, we are out 50 minutes in. Caleb, thanks a lot for your comments. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate everybody else watching. Again, don't forget, subscribe if you haven't. We'll be continuing doing live workouts. If you have questions, let me know. And then also, if you want to come on our show live, I would love to talk to you. You want to call it a debate, conversation, back and forth, however you want to call it. But would love to have you on. All right. Have a great day. See you.